Today I'll be talking about Herbert Stoddard, a man often considered the father of modern wildlife management and most famous for his work with northern bobwhite quail. Herbert Stoddard was born in 1889 in Illinois. He actually never finished high school, but what he lacked in formal education, he made up for in passion and curiosity about the natural world. His interest in agriculture and taxidermy gave him an unusual path into science. When his family moved to Florida, Stoddard worked with cattlemen and got his first exposure to the role fire played in shaping the southern piney woods. At the time, most people thought that fire was destructive, but these early experiences planted a seed in his mind about the benefits for wildlife and habitat. Later, his family returned to Illinois, and Stoddard worked on a farm in Wisconsin. There, he apprenticed to taxidermist, which eventually opened doors at the Milwaukee Public Museum. One of his most unusual jobs was helping mount a dead hippo from the Ringling Brothers Circus. That experience, along with his growing skill in taxidermy, led to positions at both the Milwaukee Museum and the Field Museum of Natural History in Chicago. He worked as a field collector, taxidermist, and eventually an ornithologist. Through these roles, he developed a lifelong interest in birds. Stoddard's biggest professional contributions came through his research on the northern bobwhite quail. In the 1920s, quail populations in the southeast were declining, and Stoddard was hired by the U.S. Bureau of Biological Survey, which later became the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, to study why. He spent years in the field in southern Georgia, observing quail habitat, nesting success, and survival. His groundbreaking book, The Bobwhite Quail: Its Habitats, Preservation, and Increase, became a classic in wildlife biology and is still respected today. One of Stoddard's most important contributions was his advocacy for prescribed burning. At the time, fire was almost universally seen as harmful and dangerous. Stoddard, however, showed through research that controlled fire actually benefited pine forests, quail, and many other species. This idea eventually helped launch the field of fire ecology. He also played a key role in developing ecosystem management, the idea that conservation should focus not just on a single species, but on the whole landscape and how everything interacts. In addition to his work with quail, Stoddard was a pioneer in many areas. He co-founded the Inland Bird Banding Association, documented rare bird species, and helped make wildlife management an academic discipline in its own right. Together with forester Leon Neal, he developed the Stoddard-Neal method for forestry, which emphasized longleaf pine conservation and is still practiced today. Herbert Stoddard's legacy is huge. He showed that science could guide conservation, and his work changed how people think about fire, wildlife, and land management across the Southeast. I chose Stoddard for this project because I see a lot of connections between his life and my own interests. He wasn't a traditional scholar, but he followed his passion for nature, birds, and conservation, and that led him to make a lasting impact. Like Stoddard, I'm interested in upland bird management and the role of conservation in shaping healthy ecosystems. His willingness to challenge conventional thinking is inspiring. Herbert Stoddard was more than just an ecologist. He was a pioneer who helped create and expand the field of wildlife management and left behind ideas that are still shaping conservation today.